A very good day to you people. My name is Mohit, and guys, today I'm going to talk about compound rules and how compound rules can actually style your divs. We'll look at both these things. Guys, before I actually start and make divs and use compound rules, I want to give you an analogy and then I want to give you an example. This will help you in understanding the concept. Guys, I'm an Indian. Most of the Indians in India speak the national language, Hindi. But most of the Indians in a state called Punjab speak Punjabi, and most of the Indians in Tamil Nadu speak Tamil. Okay, the compounds rules are very similar to this analogy. For example, let's consider this. All the H1 elements on my web page, although are black, but I have a div called the left div and I have yet another div called the right div. All the H1 elements in the left div are orange and all the H1 elements in the right div are, let's say, green. Okay, so when you are presented with such a scenario, guys, you are supposed to use compound rules. Alright, so what we'll do is we'll create a new HTML element and we will see how this can be done. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to bring in two divs and call them the left div and the right div. Let's start. So I'm going to say insert layer options div tag, and then I'm going to give it an ID. From the drop down menu, guys, I'm going to select the option, the first option, add insertion point. I'll not change that. The ID will say left div, and then I click on the new CSS rule. Next I click on OK, and then I'm going to give it a background color first. The background color, let's say, will be a hash FFC, a very light yellowish color. Okay, next I'll go to the box category, guys, and then I'm going to give it a width of, let's say, a 400 pixels and a height of 200 pixels. Then I'm going to say OK, and OK once again. I'm going to go back to the menu, click on insert, go back to layer objects, and this time div tag once again. Okay, now guys, notice that it's not add insertion point option anymore. You have some other options here. What I'm going to choose now is I'm going to say after tag, and after which tag we just have one option, after the left div. I wish to create yet another div, guys, so I'm going to go to the ID section and give it an ID as well. So I'm going to say right div. Then I'm going to click on the new CSS rule button. I'm going to say OK, and this time the background color will be a hash FCC instead of a hash FFC. Okay, I'm going to give it the same dimensions, guys. So I'm going to go to the box category. The width will be the same, 400 px. The height will be 200 px. I'm going to say OK, and OK once again. Let me take a preview in Chrome. Compound rules is an appropriate name for this file. I'm going to save it in my local site folder. This is the preview in Chrome, guys. So, but the problem is the left div isn't left and the right div isn't right. They are more like the top divs and the right, the bottom divs. So I have to make certain changes. What I'll do is I'll go to the left div out here, double click on that, go to the box category, and I'm going to set the float to left. And then I'm going to say OK. Hey, the right div vanishes. Let me take a preview in Chrome. The right div has vanished, guys. It has actually not vanished. The right div has gone underneath the left div, guys. Whenever you have a floating div, other divs don't honor it. I mean, it's more or less as if the div isn't there. So the right div feels that the space is vacant and I can go and sit there. Okay, the right div, the fill of the right div, the content doesn't go there, but the fill actually goes and sits there. Let me prove my point. What I'll do is I'll go back to the left div and then I'll go to the positioning category. I'm going to go to the visibility option and then I'm going to set the visibility hidden and say OK. And let's take a preview in Chrome now. Guys, as you can notice, the right div is now showing through. The left floating div is on top of it, which I have rendered invisible. Okay, So what should I do? Where does the solution lie? How can I make the left div left and right div right? Right now they are more like a pile. So the answer is pretty simple. I need to go to the right div, double click there, go to the box category then, and then set the left margin to be a 400. So it will displace itself 400 pixels from the left, and that should solve the problem. Very good. Very nice. But I have to go back and render the left div visible again. So I'm going to take away this rule. Okay, I've just what I've done is I have disabled the rule. I just need to get this sign out here by clicking. Okay, let's take a preview in Chrome now. All very good. So the left div is actually left and the right div is actually right. Very good. Let me go back to Dreamweaver. And next what I'm going to do is, guys, I'm going to talk about the compound rules now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to select this bit, this text, and I will go down to the properties below, and then I'm going to make it H2. I'm going to turn it into H2. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this bit, this text which says content for ID right div goes here. I will go down to the format in the properties inspector and change this to heading 3. Let me take a preview in Chrome. Lovely. Okay, let me go back to my software Dreamweaver CS5. Now we are coming on to the compound rules. Guys, right now if I were to type a H2 or a H3 header anywhere, whether it's inside the left div, right div, or maybe it's outside the left and the right div, in the body of the web page, it will still be black. But now we have to be a little tricky now. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to click anywhere in this text which says content for ID left div goes here. Anywhere, I should just need to place the cursor anywhere. Then I'm going to click on this plus button which is right at the bottom of the CSS styles panel. Okay, I'm going to click there, and automatically the selector type, which is the contextual selector type for your CSS rule, is automatically selected as compound. Okay, and the selector name down below, it says for the left div, for the H2 elements. Okay, so which means the description here says this selector name will apply your rule to all H2 elements that are within any HTML elements with ID left div. So basically what it's saying is that I will apply the rule to H2 elements and only to those H2 elements which are within the left div. Only and only. Which means that if the H2 element is in the right div, the rule will not get applied, and if the H2 element is in the body of your web page, the rule will still not apply. Only and only if it's inside the left div, the H2 element, will this compound rule get applied. Wonderful. Next what I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this OK button, and then I'm going to choose a different color. So let me say a hash 900. Alright, I'm going to say OK, and guys, notice that it's actually changed its color. Let me take a preview in Chrome. Okay, I'm going to prove my point. What if this text was also in H2? I'm going to change it from H3 to H2. If you can notice, let me go to the live view. Nothing happens. It does not change its color. Okay, let me come off the live view and say Control Z, which proves my point, guys, that only the H2 elements within the left div will have the new compound rule applied. Okay, next what I'm going to do is I'm going to click anywhere on the text here on the right hand side in the right div. Click on the new CSS rule button down below in the CSS control, the CSS panel, and it clearly says that the contextual selector is compound. The name is a pound right div H3. So the selector, the rule will apply only to those H3 elements that are within the right div, and only to those elements. Not if they are in the left div or they are outside the left and the right div. It will not get applied, guys. So I'm going to say OK, and then let me choose this a different color this time. Let's say a hash 00f. Alright, I'm going to say OK, and it turns blue. Okay, let me show you in the live view. Let me take a preview in Chrome, save the changes. Absolutely. Which means, guys, that if I were to, let's say, come off the live view and swap the H2 with H3, okay, I'm going to change the H2 to H3 and H3 to H2. Guys, notice that they go back black again. They go back black again, which means only if they are in a specific location will they behave in a certain way, otherwise not. So guys, I hope you found this tutorial useful. You have understood the concept of compound rules. But before I leave you, I just want to show you something else. Alright, what I'm going to do is I'm going to click anywhere on this text, and then I'm going to go back to the new CSS rule button. Obviously the pound sign, the left div H2 auto populates, and I'm going to say a comma, and then I'm going to type a pound sign. I think it's also called the hash. Then I'm going to say right div and then space H3. What this means is, now this new compound rule will not only apply to the H2 elements of the left div, but will also apply to the H3 elements of the right div. Wonderful. I'm going to say OK now, and then what I want to be applied to both the H2 and the H3s of the left and the right divs are the blinking. So I'm going to choose the text decoration as blink, and then I'm going to say OK. Guys, the blinking, as far as I know, is supported only in Mozilla Firefox and Opera. Okay, so I'll take a preview in Chrome first. There should be no blinking. Obviously there is not. Then I'm going to go down to, let's say, a Firefox. It should blink, which it does. I'm going to go down to I'll skip IE. I know for sure it does not blink there. Let me check Opera. It blinks out there as well, but I think the rate of the blinking is a little slower, guys, compared to a Firefox. So guys, this is all about compound rules, a little bit about div tags. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I'll see you next time with yet another Dreamweaver tutorial, or it could be Flash with ActionScript 3. Bye bye. Ciao. Take care.